You're listening to littlepodcast.com. There's got to be something called that, and it's got to have to do with Soviets, right?
Yeah, of course. Of course, it's gotta be Red Scare time.
Delightful trash robot and his sassy girlfriend. He ate all of the crow in the room.
Bees understand the concept of zero?
Anime is bad. No one should watch anime. But there's a couple that are good. Like, there's some that are worth watching. Welcome to Born in the 80s, episode 315. I'm your host, Jonathan Danger the Roth, and I'm joined by my co-hosts.
Madison Danger the Haggith.
And TJathan something May with lots of background noise.
Yeah, TJ was free for a week or two.
2
weeks. I visited him. We played Halo 3 all the way through.
Of Halo 3, yeah.
So that was fun. And amongst other games, Runbow, we played a bunch of. That was really fun.
Oh, yeah. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I just visited Illinois. I got an iPass because I was frustrated with the tolls on the way down. So you can just go to a grocery store and buy an iPass for $30, and then it's got $20 on it. So I did that for the way back.
Oh, so it's like a
nice
prepay thing?
It is, yes.
And then auto loads afterwards.
But it auto loads from your card, and you have to have a card on there to auto load from, or else it yells at you all the time. Like, my credit card is expiring this month, and it's like, your card's expiring, so you should put a new card on here, because if you have a negative balance and use the tolls, you'll get fined. And it's like, I travel so little to Illinois, like 3 or 4 times a year I need to do the tolls, so.
Right. Well,
it's
that
like
sounds like a really
but it saved me money.
efficient
saved me like
way
$4
for the
on the
government
way
to
back.
take money out of your bank account.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure we're going to have tolls in Wisconsin soon enough, so.
Oh, God.
And all of those different auto tolling thingies work in multiple states, so you're fine that way.
I'm assuming we'll connect, since the road that is tolled in Illinois is the same road that would be put tolls on in Wisconsin. So, and they really need to toll that road, because so much of the traffic on this is like ridiculous, complicated Wisconsin, Illinois dynamic road construction. But fucking 90, it's the road you take to Chicago is fucking terrible. Like I-90, I-94 is just always under construction. And then as soon as you get into Illinois, it's perfect because they have tolls, so they can pay for all the road construction. But in Wisconsin, it's just a fucking like shitstorm of continual like half-assed rebuilding. So anyway, I would be happy if we instilled tolls and the roads were good, because I barely use that road. But if I were and it was nice, I'd be willing to pay for it. But anyway.
Matt, is our video not showing up on our stream?
Oh,
Yeah, it's true. We are starting soon, according to that.
Hey, I woke up like an hour ago. Okay, give me a
TJ,
break.
you said your friend, your family, your friends, and your family. Because I'm assuming your family are your friends and your family.
Yeah.
They were visiting.
They're visiting family down in Florida.
Florida. Okay, excellent. Yes. Your wife's side family.
Correct.
Did they go? They go anywhere fun in Florida?
People.
Was it super hot? Did they get to slip and slide?
Oh, they got to swimmy. Yeah.
Nice. That's what you got to do in Florida.
Important. Yeah.
Cool. Whereabouts in Florida? The bad parts or the good parts?
Decent parts. Both of them on the Gulf side, not the ocean side.
Oh, that's good. The Gulf side's very pretty and warm water and nice. So.
Well, not right now. They're dealing with the red tide, the red algae right now.
Well,
Yep.
Pretty okay. Not great. Oh my god. Anyway, well, Red Tide's a really great video game, I'm sure, or movie. There's got to be something called that, and it's got to have to do with Soviets, right?
Yeah, of course. It's got to be Red Scare time.
All right, let's see here.
Or at least a B horror movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know, man. Red Tide, the first thing that comes up is the harmful algal bloom.
Yep.
So, yeah, it looks like there's a lot of news about how that's going on down in Florida right now.
So how harmful is it? What does it actually cause for skin contact?
Well, it's kind of the same thing as like blue-green algae, where it's kind of harmful. I mean, you're not going to die, but anyway. Humans are affected by the red tide species by ingesting shellfish that have been in the red tide. So that's like getting that through eating things that were in there.
Okay.
Or breathing in the aerosolized brevotoxins.
Ooh.
That doesn't sound good. And in some cases, skin contact.
Okay.
The brevotoxins, not brevo, toxins bind to voltage-gated sodium channels, an important structure of cell membranes. Binding results in persistent activation of nerve cells, which interferes with neural transmission, leading to health problems. So it doesn't sound like it's like horrible, but let's see here. On a windy day, it's best to avoid contact with the aerosolized toxin because basically the mat of algae is like, eating whatever and then pooping out this toxin into the air, as a byproduct. It says here, because it can cause a decrease in respiratory function after only 1 hour of exposure, and it may last for days. So basically coughing, asthma-like symptoms. So, and then if you eat it, it can get drowsiness, diarrhea, nausea, aching of extremities, tingling. It goes away because it doesn't stay in your body, but definitely not healthy,
Okay.
Really bad for you. So just steer away. And I wonder what causes it. Factors that contribute. It's all climate change, all that noise. It's the same thing with blue-green algae. It's warmer water temperatures make it more likely the algae to bloom, and part of climate change is rising global ocean temperatures and sea levels. So that's that. It's terrible because it ruins a beautiful beach. Anyway. What's Matt been up to? It's been a while since we recorded.
Hey, I'm definitely not just reading the doc, but I played a game called Snake Pass that I got for sale on the.
I've been wanting to play that for a while.
Yeah, I wanted to play that one too.
I've been playing it on keyboard and mouse, so the controls are not ideal, but it's like really interesting movement mechanics where you're a snake. There's a button to go forward, a button to grip, and then basically like left, right, up, down control with your other hand. I'm assuming that's analog stick.
I think you curl around stuff too.
Yeah, you have to
go up something.
Strategically curl around different lattices and things to make your way up. And there is a weight to your tail, so if you don't curl around enough, you'll just slowly slip off.
Yeah, I've heard it's both frustrating but yet very satisfying when you do it correctly. It's a weird style of movement.
Yeah,
which
seemed really cool.
Man, this is just in a world where games don't do something totally new. I've never seen movement like this before. It's just wholly different from anything else I've played. It's really cool, and it's really well done in kind of that cartoony, rare style of character design. Mm-hmm. It looks a little bit Banjo-Kazooie-ish in its design, and that's really cool.
So, man, I'm about to start an intervention here. How do you still not own a gamepad of some sort?
Because I just forgot to.
They're kind of expensive.
They're probably are they $30 on Amazon or more? And plus, I don't know. Do I just get anyone? Do I have to know what I'm getting to?
Okay, my suggestions for gamepad. I'm gonna start with the best and just kind of go down the list. None of these gamepads I'm gonna mention were made exclusively for PC. Every single gamepad I'm going to recommend is actually a gamepad for another system that works on PC.
Oh man, this is the best way. By the way, looking at Amazon, the first thing that comes up. I'm sure it's the first thing TJ is going to say.
Number one is the Xbox 360 wired controller. That is the official Microsoft one.
What?
It is the best.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Xbox One.
Oh, we'll get to that later.
Because the Xbox One you can get wireless or wired.
Yes,
and it works on PC.
That is correct too.
But I'm sure it's more expensive.
It is. In terms of the most reliability, the Xbox 360 wired controller is the best balance of comfort, reliability, and just usefulness.
Mine's wireless, but
yeah. The second best one would be get any wireless Xbox 360 controller. and that involves getting an Xbox 360 wireless adapter, which I know
those
John
are kind of
has one
hard to
those.
come by too.
They're getting a little easier. They're coming back around.
Okay, because I was thinking they switched over to just Xbox One, but I was able to get a wireless. Oh yeah, so on Amazon with 4.5 stars, Microsoft 360 OEM wireless receiver for Windows is $20.
Yep.
So that's not so bad. I had to buy a second one because my first one died.
Yeah, you could spend $30 to $35 to just get a wired controller, the Xbox 360 one, or you could spend a total of $50 to get a wireless controller plus the adapter.
Yeah.
The other option is going to be an Xbox One or a PS4 controller. Newer Xbox One controllers and all PS4 controllers are compatible with Bluetooth.
Yeah, you just have Bluetooth. You can go.
Or you can just connect any most any micro USB cord to use them wired.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are the best because they're like if you're getting stuff just for PC, that's like some like made up one. Like this, the build quality is kind of shitty usually.
Yeah.
Like whereas these console ones are always like good and they're the best sellers.
Right. And you're saying the wired one is better
Switch
than
Pro
the Bluetooth
controller
version?
Oh yeah, the Switch Pro controller works on PC too, doesn't it?
Yep. Actually, so do the Joy-Cons.
Yeah, that Switch Pro controller is fucking awesome.
It is amazing.
It's a very, very. It's probably my favorite of all the. I'm looking around to see if I have mine in here somewhere.
And that one can go Bluetooth, or you can do that wired with the USB-C cord. And what I like about the USB-C cord is, as opposed to micro USB cords, the ports don't mess up over time.
Yeah, because USB-C is
USB
reversible.
Yeah, micro USB ports just completely mess up.
I've never had that problem, but
I
or
don't.
You could buy the this if you don't really care. I have a USB. It's the one I would recommend too for Super Nintendo games or like Nintendo games or Game Boy games.
Yeah,
on PC because they have a very good feel. It feels like the regular controller, and it's $12 on Amazon.
Okay, so it looks like the best option, as you said, is the 360 wired because that is also like less expensive.
I mean, you can use a first or a third party. I'm going to recommend the first party if you can find one new still.
Yeah.
But if you're going third party,
yeah. Because let's say, oh yeah, on Newegg they have the wired controller. 360 is $30.
Yeah, on Amazon it was just 31 from new.
Yeah,
so
and I would probably say go with wired as well, because wireless is awesome for sitting on the couch, but when you're in front of a computer, you're going to be right there, and the wire doesn't bother you. So, and plus you don't have to worry about your dongle breaking or your like batteries for the controller having to replace them all the time. Like
exactly,
it's just works. So.
Oh man, I could have got.
I kind of wish I had
Minecraft
one
Peg version.
Oh.
Yep, that's a Xbox One controller, but we sell those too.
Anyway, well, Xbox One controller is pretty good. Although the shoulder buttons suck on it, I found out having played one.
The early ones, because remember you did.
Yeah.
Gen 1 Xbox One controllers have absolute garbage shoulders.
They really
fixed that
do.
in the Gen 2 and the Gen 3 controllers.
Which is crazy because the shoulder buttons on the 360 are so fucking good. Like the 360 is like probably the best controller. Like, or it's up there. I mean, like it fits in your hands. The thumbsticks are exactly where you'd want them. The buttons feel good. The D-pad is terrible. That is a problem with the 360 controller. But the triggers feel really good. You hear that action. Anyway, yep. It'll add a lot of fun to your gameplay, Matt, because a lot of games work good on controllers on PC. So
and then later on, if you do happen, or any of our listeners happen to have an Xbox One third gen controller or any PS4 controller, those will go wireless with Bluetooth as well. You don't need the special adapter. You could use the adapter, but Bluetooth works fine.
Yeah,
I wish I
would still
had
need
more
like
USB-C
some kind of Bluetooth dongle for my computer, I think, because I don't think I've
got one somewhere. They're just tiny.
Cool. Look forward to my
Amazon
controller review next week, where I talk about Snake Pass once again. And I play. What's the shittiest game to play with a controller? I don't know, StarCraft or something with a controller.
All I know about Snake Pass is Video Game Donkey's video of him being very furious at not being able to make it up different things and falling like after like 10 minutes of trying to get up a little branch thing. So, but it does sound like it's kind of one of those games that you get a feel for and it becomes very fun. So,
yep.
Plus it's cheap, I think. Have you guys ever done the? Have you ever guys done the Humble monthly bundle?
No.
For PC. Oh, TJ.
I think once. No, I've
you
done.
You don't have
I've
the PC games as much, but
I do a little bit though, and I did one, and that's for some reason why I have, and I didn't know I owned it already. Stardew Valley.
Yeah. So the Humble monthly bundle is like a thing where you pay. I think it's $11 a month now. It used to be 10. It's $12 a month. They upped it $2. Like,
oh, that's right.
recently.
I've never done the monthly bundle. I just did the regular bundles.
Oh, okay, yeah. So the monthly bundle is every month you get like just a bunch of games for $12, and it's pretty crazy. I only did it because in the June bundle had Destiny 2 for PC, and so it was, and I had a coupon for $4 off the bundle, so I spent $8. And I got Destiny 2, so I was like, all right. And then I got like this Cook Serve Delicious, which was actually pretty fun, and Ukulele, which I'll probably never play, but I heard it's probably okay.
I have my code for that somewhere for Xbox One.
Yeah, and then just a bunch of shit, and then like the next month was like some games I was not interested in at all. Portal Knights, Black Wake, and Hearts of Iron 4. Hearts of Iron 4 is a World War II like hex super like hardcore strategy game, like board game, and so I was like, and then Portal Knights I have on the PS4, and then it came out, and like it was like, well, I would have paid for Portal Knights, but then the Titan Quest Anniversary Edition and sequel were on there, and I was like, damn it, I would have played that though. So I don't know, it's kind of a good deal, but the nice thing is that you can just hit like pause and then it won't charge your card. So next month is Hat in Time, Escapist 2, and Conan Exiles, and you can pay now, and then you'll when they unlock at the end of the month, you'll see what the other games you get are. It's kind of a good deal, and then part of the Humble Bundle stuff is charity, and the monthly does go to different charities each month, or at least like part of it. You don't get to like, it's like when you get a Humble Bundle, you get to like pick the percentage that goes to charity. This you don't get to pick, but like they like still give a portion of the proceeds to charity. So yeah, it's a pretty cool deal. So anyway, if anyone wants a referral code, I can give you my referral code and I'll get $8 off, and I think you get like $4 off or something too. So anyway, that was an ad for a thing that we don't get.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I just like to support it because it is supporting charity and it's a good deal. So if you play PC games, and this is also how I have a billion codes for games that I already own because of Humble bundles. I don't know. So yeah.
So
Snake
you ready for me? Who's ready for me to be a downer today?
Yeah, I saw your very light way of putting that.
It's not really that light, but he is my. Was I don't even want to, but yeah, my last formerly living grandparent no longer lives. It was.
Wow. Did you just find out about this today?
Nope, it was right after you left.
Oh wow.
Happened at 11 o'clock at night, July 4th.
Oh.
So,
is this on your side?
It's mine. It's my last
Oh,
grandparent.
okay. Not grandparent-in-law. All right.
My mom's dad died when she was 7.
Okay.
Both of my grandmothers died when I was in college.
Uh-huh.
Or one right before I went to college and one right after.
Yeah.
And then I want to say he was 93 or 94.
Oh wow.
When my grandfather just died. He was mentally was starting to kind of lose his senses, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
He was away from his house, the one place he felt the most comfortable, because he was now in assisted living, and he just, at this point, I just think he's more in relief now than anything else.
Yeah.
But that caused some confusion with me as I'm trying to figure things out, and they're doing the funeral in Racine, so it's much closer than having to drive all the way up to Crivets.
Yeah, that'd be a long drive.
Because he's from Racine, so
because that's like 5 hours from here.
I can get it in 4.
Yeah, that would be like a 9-hour drive for you if you had to go up to Crivets.
Yep.
Or 8.
So I was under the impression, at least with him, I'm just continuing to use the term die. I don't like the term pass away, because no, he's just done, unfortunately. That he wanted to have all his funeral services in Racine. You know, he wanted all that where he lived almost all his life.
Yeah.
So I get emails mentioning, here's the funeral service, can be this day at this church. I see that Saturday. I'm like, okay, Saturday. My family's not back yet, but I'm off in the morning, so I can drive up there, go to services, get down, and go back to work.
Yeah.
I get there and I don't see anyone at all, other than some random people setting up for a wedding. I look more closely at the email after driving up to Racine. Oh, it's next week Saturday.
What? You did the whole trip for nothing?
Yeah. It was a practice
trip.
It's
only an hour up there, an hour back,
I'm
but
sorry.
Still. But, yeah, it's,
That's crazy. That happened to me 2 or 3 years ago. My grandmother on my mom's side passed away. She was 97, 96, 97. I can't remember. Her birthday was... Yeah, she just turned 97. Because she was born on Christmas Eve. So, it was... I think she died in February. But yeah, she was still living in the same house that she had all her kids in.
Yep.
So... She was actually pretty healthy up until the last few months. Like, she was still kind of cooking for herself and everything. And, it's like the situation with a lot of farms where you'll have one of her children moved across, like, the lot and built their own house on the farm. So there's always somebody there who could, like, come over and be like, hey, how's it going? Like, let me help you, like, shovel and all this stuff. So that was nice. So, but, yeah, she got to stay there the whole time, which was nice. But
my grandpa was born on Easter Sunday, April Fool's Day of the year he was born.
Wow, that's so crazy to think of how different the world was back then.
Oh yeah,
like thinking of like my grandmother who's 97, grew up during the Depression, and like her house had dirt floors, and she went to like a 1-room schoolhouse, and like when she died, there were iPads.
Yeah.
Like the
That's
world
crazy,
is so different. Like just to think, it's one of my favorite lines in Mad Men. Is one of the characters dies, and they talk about how she grew up on a farm with no running water and dirt floors, and she died on a 50th floor of a Manhattan skyrise, and she was an astronaut, basically. You know what I mean? Like thinking of where you came from to where you ended up, is crazy to think about. Like, and just wondering, like, what is it going to be like when we're 90?
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's going to be all like fucking those little Wall-E, little fat people scooters that everyone's on. We're all just rolling around, like in a little ship because we destroyed Earth. Because that's definitely happening. Like Wall-E predicted that. I mean, Earth is, and then we all need to have a delightful trash robot and his sassy girlfriend like replant Earth and teach us how to like walk and lift weights.
Find a plant in a boot.
Yeah, find a plant in a boot.
Very
that
maniacal
still is
autopilot.
That's like my top like Pixar, I think. Wall-E or I liked Up, but probably not Up as much. Wall-E or Inside Out is up there for me. Those are so good. Wally's so fun. Plus, it has a cute robot. You know.
So it got me to thinking, as I am wont to do, just like that one episode about what's our internet presence going to be when we die.
Yeah.
What kind of legacy do we think we're going to leave behind? It's not going to be much. I mean, I understand that I'm average and whatnot, because most people are.
Well, this
That's
podcast
how the bell curve works.
This podcast is I've got a service that's being inscribed into gold discs, so it will be put in a vault. So, no, that's
also,
interesting to think about.
We have a neural network analyzing every episode of this podcast so that we can all live on as AI indefinitely.
Yeah, I hire an Amazon Mechanical Turk person to transcribe every episode, and then it gets hard printed into a copy that's placed in a vault. It'd be so crazy to like think about. And you know what the funny part about the Amazon Mechanical Turk is? I guarantee you I could pay someone to write down and transcribe every podcast we've done for probably less than $200.
Oh, probably.
Like, it's just so stupid. Like, it would be kind of fun to read the transcripts.
I think later episodes would be like $1.40 a piece, but early episodes you probably could get it for 80 cents.
Yeah, I would love to
Maybe
do
less.
that, just to get like some of that back, and maybe we should just pick an old episode, have him do it, and then we could play different roles. And I'll be me, of course, or no, Matt, you can be me.
I'll be the role
I'll
of John.
be Adam, and TJ can be Lance, or we could mess it around, and someone could be Tyler, as he was currently now known as Mercury Stardust, of course. So, but it would be interesting to get some of those old episodes back. I'll have to look into that, because when I looked at when I was unemployed for like 9 months between my previous job and when I worked at Epic, I looked into like trying to do like some like task work and stuff, and I was like, transcribe this like hour interview for like $1. Like,
I looked into some of that.
That's $1 an hour of work. Like, yeah, so that'd be fun though. But we could just get fans to do it for free.
Yep.
Yeah,
all we gotta do is,
please do not do that.
all we gotta do is post on YouTube and do it through the YouTube Heroes program.
Whatever you do, please do not do that. Wait, oh my God, wait a minute. Amazon Transcribe, automatic speech recognition? Oh, fuck yes. An Amazon Web Service? Oh, man. I am tempted to have it. Oh, it'd be fun to read a computer transcription of our... Does Google do that for free? Oh, my God. Because they like, if you ever get your emails transcribed... Or, sorry, your voicemails transcribed.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're always turned into hot garbage. And so it's really funny to read. Oh, that'd be good.
I mean, YouTube also has an automatic transcribe, too.
Oh, yeah. And those
Which
are
is...
real good. Like, fucking choice. TJ, did we lose you?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I thought you were going to say more. I cut you off. I apologize.
No, it's fine.
What about the YouTube one? Any good examples?
I can't think of one offhand.
I want to look into this now. We got to pick an old episode and just do one.
I mean, go to classic. We got to do the Maltese something.
Yeah, but if you think about legacy online, like Matt, you've smashed your Twitter account's legacy, correct?
Yeah. Fuck that shit.
I want to mention. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you did the thing that auto deletes everything after 30 days, right?
Yeah.
That's good.
So it's like
literally,
a really slow Snapchat.
Yeah. Well, like the Twitter is basically a service for people to look up insulting things you've said in the past.
Yep.
Now, like that's all it is. Because like anytime, like that's the thing is like you need to understand, like if you become famous, you need to delete your Twitter account and make a new one, because everyone will because this happened with people that are on SNL. I know Melissa Villasenor had some old tweets. Michael Che had some old tweets as well that people were like, like you could. And it's the thing is like stuff like jokes and using Twitter to like do comedy is kind of like you're just kind of trying stuff when you have like a couple thousand followers. You're just like, Like,
Yeah.
it didn't land, whatever. Like, nobody cares. But now when, like, people can go back to it and, like, without, like, the benefit of context, because, you know, it's just text. There's no context. There's no, like, oh, I'm saying this sarcastic. This goes back to the So You've Been Publicly Shamed by John Ronson. I'd like to talk about that for a minute, because I never did talk about, like, one of the bits, I've got to look it up now. Because I want to look up the name of this person and go over her whole public shaming. But you guys may remember the lady who was, oh fucking Christ. This is just talking about the writer. If you remember Jonah Lehrer, who is a science journalist, and he did like a whole bunch of fucking stuff for like NPR, like all those podcasts and whatnot, you know, doing like that. And he basically had completely plagiarized like a bunch of his books. And he was like a serial plagiarist, and he got like super, that's not a good one either. Where's the real person? Did it get deleted out of Wikipedia? Because they talk about this service that this lady used, where you can pay for service for people to change your entire like online history, and like have people go through and delete stuff, and set up websites with your name, and then have people click on it so that it moves up the Google rankings. So when people search your name, like that they don't find your name first.
Yeah,
because it's kind of like
that's crazy. Yeah, I know there's I forget what this.
Here it is, Justine Sacco. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so Justine Sacco was flying from New York to South Africa to visit a family in the holidays in 2013. She's 30. She's a director of corporate communications at a company called IAC. Began tweeting jokes about the indignities of travel. One was about a fellow passenger on the flight from John F. Kennedy saying, "Weird German dude, you're in first class. It's 2014. Get some deodorant." Inner monologue as I inhale BO. Thank God for pharmaceuticals. Then during her layover at Heathrow, chili, cucumber sandwiches, bad teeth, back in London. And so these are kind of like, these are bad jokes. You know what I mean? Like, it's not great. And then you get to the herd joke. So basically, she was in Heathrow, before she gets onto a plane, she tweets this, and then of course back then, phone is dead during the flight because you can't connect. Yep. So she tweeted, "Going to Africa, hope I don't get AIDS, just kidding, I'm white." And gets on the plane, turns her phone off. And during those 3 hours, or however long the flight was, or like 6 hours, wherever it was, she had 170 Twitter followers at this point. Like, she's just tweeting to nobody. 11-hour flight. So she slept. And while she was flying, basically, it got picked up, it got like sent around, it got all this stuff, like it just blew up, basically. And so her first text was like, I'm sorry to see what's happening to you, like all these friends, it's like, you need to call me immediately. And basically everyone blew up, you know what I mean? Like, and just everyone's just like dunking on this lady for saying this, admittedly crude thing. And basically her life was ruined after that, for making a bad joke. And now this is how she talks about that joke. And this is the thing that is what is wrong with this discourse of the internet. So she's someone who, I guess, has volunteered in Africa and charities and all these things. And what she was saying was basically, oh, I'm white, so people care about me, so I'm not going to get sick. Because we only care about white people in Africa, is what she was trying to say. Horribly worded, you know what I mean? And it could be totally taken the way that it was taken. But when she's not there to respond to someone, she's cut off. It just sits the way it is. You know what I'm saying? And so what she's saying, just kidding, I'm white, so I don't have to deal with the, indignities of being poor and not having people care about me. And you know what I mean? It was kind of like a really bad way of putting that together. And like in the book, they kind of talked to other people about how it's saying like, I would have worded it this way, and it would have, meant it's just a bad joke. You know what I mean? And it was easily taken out of context because it was poorly written, because she's not a joke writer. And also, if you're someone who works for PR, you probably shouldn't be tweeting out bad jokes, because they will come. And this is the thing, though. This was early on in Twitter, like 2014. Not early on in Twitter, but like Twitter's kind of blown up 2015, 2016. You know, so it's just the fact that she wasn't able to delete it, you know, or defend herself or say, oh, I didn't mean it that way, I apologize. You know, so it just sat there for 11 hours and just got around to news cycles and everything. And she got fired, death threats, you know, all these things. Her website, her employer's website was DDoS attacked. So she got fired. And so he, you know, he interviews her and talks to her about it. And, you know, he finds out about how rich people use these services to, you know, kind of clear their name before like stuff. So if people are going for like public facing positions or CEO jobs or things, they'll have someone kind of scrub their internet history and kind of get rid of everything. And she says, she said, to me, it was so insane of a comment for anyone to make. I thought there was no way anyone could possibly think I was being literal on this. You know what I mean? And so she said it was basically, I wasn't trying to mean anything by it other than being sarcastic about how white people don't have to worry about AIDS because of the world. There's a cure basically for rich white people.
Yeah.
And if you live in Africa, you unfortunately don't get that. You know, although talking about the legacy of George W. Bush, a president who is not well liked, the programs that they did in Africa have really helped with the AIDS situation there. So, I mean, at least something good came of that presidency. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people in Africa really loved the Bush family because of that. So, you know.
I'm going to post a link in the chat here, as well as in our Discord chat, and then that can be probably put in this episode description. It's a link to Tom Scott's video on the speed of outrage that he did at Thinking Digital 2015, which talks about situations like this, but also how this could cause real, like, physical pain to people just because of outrage on the internet.
Yeah, and another thing the book talks about, and it's an incredible book, I love John Rounson, it's awesome to read, is it talks about how back in the 1700s, the U.S. and a lot of other countries had public shaming as a punishment. You know, where you'd be put on the stocks and people would come out and publicly shame you for doing something. And that was, in the 1700s, deemed too cruel, and they got rid of it. But now it's back, in a way, because everyone can publicly shame you on social media now. And it's terrible. I mean, she talks about how her extended family in South Africa, who she was visiting, were African National Congress supporters, which is the party of Nelson Mandela, who were a long-time activists for racial equality in Africa, and they basically disowned her because of this. And I mean, it's just, here's the lesson: don't tweet. Twitter can only be bad.
Never say
no
anything
No one's lives have become better. Okay, there are definitely people whose lives have become better because of tweets. Because there's the guy who created the Shit My Dad Says Twitter account, who got a sitcom deal and became a writer and everything. But the people that get famous on social media are on Instagram and other things. Go to those platforms and be a fake weird person who visits places, and then maybe you'll make some money. But definitely do not. I mean, it's just it's insane. They talk about this article, the New York Times article, kind of goes over it. It talks about public shaming being outlawed in the late 1700s. And this was Gawker Media, FYI. So, you know, Gawker's nice and also terrible. Because this is, you know, like, I have a love-hate relationship with Gawker Media, and of course it's gone because of Hulk Hogan and that situation. But and he actually talks about talking to Sam Biddle from Gawker, who had posted, this is basically how that tweet blew up, because he posted an article saying, and now a funny holiday joke from IAC's PR boss. Blew up. And he talks to that guy about this, and he says, I thought you made Gawker to take down the powerful, you know, and this is just a member of the public posting a bad joke and you ruined her life. And he's like, well, I do it again in a second because, racists are terrible. And he's like, well, she wasn't a racist or trying to be racist. She just made a poorly worded joke. And they just he's like, he just stands his ground, basically. And it's really messed up. I mean, I think her life is better now because the book kind of ends on like a helpful note. She got a new job. Things are going better because it's, again, the next huge outrage will blow up. You know what I mean? But I mean, if you search, let me see if you search Justine Sacco, if it's the first thing that comes up on Twitter. No, the first thing that comes up is the New York Times article, which is very nice about her. So maybe that's, and it actually does seem like every article here says, is basically okay. She works for a company now. As a vice president of communications, so she got back. But I mean, the backlash kind of turned around on her, and people were like, maybe we shouldn't have crucified this person for a bad joke. Like, because it's a ridiculous overreaction. You see all the time, with Twitter and things. It's just people immediately death threats. And it's like, is this really worth it? Is this worthy of that animosity? Anyway.
Hopefully, eventually, we evolve beyond this. Yeah. Because, I don't know, we're just in a situation where dumb monkey brains weren't built for the internet. I need to delete my Twitter account.
Delete all the past tweets. Because I don't know what's in there. But I really, the problem with it is that I'm kind of a crazy collector person, and I want all of my old tweets first. Yeah. Because you can get that service. I cannot get that from Twitter. And I've tried.
Can we delete all the old podcasts, too? No, actually,
here's the nice thing about the podcasts will never be scrubbed because people would have to listen to them.
Because you can't just search it.
Correct. There is no. So if we transcribed all of it, then it would be searchable.
Let's scrap that plan.
Well, if we transcribe it, we got to keep it private. Not public.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be transcribed one choice episode, and then I'll have a big stack of papers in my fire safe of it transcribed, so people can't actually get it.
All right. Because I know for sure I've said some dumb shit that, as somebody who is just naturally not funny, who tries to be funny, it's you put yourself in bad situations when you try to be funny and you're not very good at it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and the thing with Twitter and Twitch and stuff is all kind of off the cuff. You know what I mean? Nobody's sitting here with a group of writers thinking like, all right, this is how we're going to execute this, and we're going to have all these great, well thought out lines of dialogue around this complicated issue. It just isn't the way it is. And it would be a terrible podcast to listen to if it was done that way, because it would just be, this is just a show. Those are good in some respects, but that's not what this is. This is meant to be like a off the cuff discussion. Also, Spanky in the chat brings up Bill Maher, and somehow he still has a job after all the dumb shit he said. But but the thing is that he's able to say something shit like the house N-word joke that he made, which was really bad.
Jesus.
But
how does he
he was able to come back in the next episode and say, that was stupid of me to say. I was trying to make a joke and it was bad and I shouldn't have said it. And it's because he works on HBO that they're like, we'll give you the chance to say this back. You know what I mean? He's clearly got a friend high up there that's giving him second chances, but you know what I mean? But the fact that it's like paid show. And
as long as you're profitable, they'll give you second chances.
Yeah. Anyway. The internet is bad, and we should feel bad. And then Spanky also because I remember this. He brought Ice Cube on the show, who basically just fucking talked down to him and called him an idiot and all this shit for a while, and he ate all of the crow in the room. So at least it was they were honest. Here's the thing: Bill Maher says dumb, stupid shit all the time. He's a comedian. They say dumb shit. He at least owns up to it, or has, saying, okay, maybe I said some dumb shit. I apologize. Let's bring Ice Cube on to tell me why I shouldn't have said that, and none of you should say that. Let's learn from it rather than make it some fucking fake news that was bad. I'm gonna stand by the dumb shit I said. No. Anyway, Wow, I've ranted for.
I have a question about
Thank you.
this whole situation. Just kind of like building on this. Is there any way that Twitter recovers from like the public image problem that it has now of just being a total pile of garbage and like the worst of humanity? Or is it just like a continuous slow decline until they like make a new one, rename it something else?
Well, is there
like,
Gab? Or the white power version of Twitter or whatever exists now?
Yeah. Well, that's what Twitter will be eventually. But like, I don't know how it recovers from being the place where like 70-year-old politicians yell at each other to like go back to being something that people want to actually use again.
Twitter's stock value has doubled in the past year.
Oh, great.
So it's doing well. I don't think it's going away anytime soon.
But it's still not. It's never been profitable, right?
It doesn't, I guess, matter because shareholders are making money off of the stock going up, so the profits don't matter. I believe they did turn a profit. It's still early enough, I guess, where there's still people are giving it leeway. It's actually its highest value was in 2014 when it was $70 a share. It is now at 45. So it already peaked and sunk in 2016, like huge, and now it's started to kind of go back again with the stock market having a big surge this last year. I don't know, people. It's a platform where news happens. You know what I mean? Like breaking news newsworthy things happen there. Roseanne Barr was fired from Roseanne because she said something on Twitter. Like it's relevant, even if they can't monetize it well enough. You know what I mean? I think that's what holds the value. I think it's a shitstorm, but so is Reddit. You know, like if you look at some parts of Reddit, it's a kind of a shitstorm.
Yeah, Reddit feels more like sectioned off. It feels like
Reddit's
it's
you
easier
got
to avoid the garbage.
It's heavily moderated as well. Each community will have its own moderation, whereas Twitter feels like arbitrary moderation. Like I can tweet jokes at the Turning Point USA Twitter account, and then have some rando DM me saying your turn is next with a gun, which happened to me, by the way.
Wait, what?
Obviously,
I missed that sentence.
That man was not banned, as it wasn't specific harmful words. It was implied. So I was like, that's good. I didn't make any public fucking hoo-ha about it because it's just kind of like, well, you know, this guy's obviously just some fucking dickweed who likes to act big on the internet, and he fucking lives nowhere near me, and I have no information about where I'm from on my Twitter account. I'm from Short Pump, Virginia, born in 6/9/1969, I think. Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of like, well, like that's fine. You know what I mean? But then you see like people will get banned for like, you know, calling Donald Trump an asshole on Twitter, and then they get banned. And it's like, this fair. It's because they're trying to be all voices matter. You know what I mean? Except for specific targeted hate speech, which is very gray. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like that's such a gray area, and they just don't have the number of people and tools to moderate that correctly that it just becomes ridiculous. You know, you'll see a video game. He works at Sony. Matt Kessler, who tweeted at David Lang, who is the CEO of Iron Galaxy Games, "I'm going to murder you, Dave Lang," as a joke because he flipped him off while he was trying to interview someone in the background, and he was banned from Twitter for saying that. It's clearly a joke. You know what I mean? Because people reported it as a joke. And immediately it was just auto-banned. He got reinstated like 3 days later because obviously it was a fucking joke. But they don't know that. You know what I mean? It just gets auto-banned because in that. But yet, you know, you'll have all these horrible, you know, racist people saying shit all over on Twitter and they don't get banned. It's because, you know, you need to report people. And so I always report everyone that I see doing shit like that because, like, it's fucking ridiculous. and the nice part about it, though,
reported so many Trump tweets for targeted harassment, but somehow it doesn't seem to do anything. It's weird.
Oh, shit. You got through to that one Twitter employee who was leaving the company who turned off his account for like 6 hours or whatever it was.
Yeah.
His account was deleted.
Yeah, I think part of what we're seeing now is like when you create these unregulated systems, it ends up being almost like an evolutionary thing where it's like, what's the fittest thing to survive and propagate? Oh, I guess it's anger and outrage. So that's what ends up taking over the platform eventually.
Oh, yeah. Because it's super easy to get people... I mean, South Park, a few seasons ago, talked about this a little bit, about trolling, why people troll and stuff. And it's just to get reactions, and then... The whole idea is you get reactions, and then people react to those reactions, and it just turns into this entire mess. You know what I mean? And kind of how we all participate in this in some ways online. You know what I mean? No matter what side you're on, you're throwing more fuel to the other side to continue to react to. You just have to do one little thing to set off a firestorm because everyone's just so ready to have Twitter's a hot take machine is what Twitter is. It's the hot take machine. And so that's what Twitter is. And I appreciate its existence for that, but I also think it's the fucking worst thing in the world. If that makes sense. Like, it's literally made the world a worse place, but also is a necessary thing, because if it didn't exist, something else would. They just need to do a much better job of moderating it. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm moving to Ello, the social media platform of the future.
Libcucks.
Yep.
But anyway, but the nice thing about Twitter though is, like Roseanne can get fucking her show taken away for it. So, if that didn't exist, maybe she could be a horrible racist behind the scenes to people that work with her. And now she doesn't get to. So. Because she said it publicly. So that's a good thing that happened from Twitter. It did get Donald Trump elected president, which is probably the worst thing that you can imagine happening, no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on. You can't say it was a great thing unless you're one of those crazy people who believe anything that he says. Sorry. It's interesting when I have discussions with people, on forums that I'm a part of that are Republican. They're like, yeah, this isn't the Republican Party that I'm for. I'm for like reducing deficit and entitlement programs so that people get more of their paychecks to spend on their own things and the government doesn't need to control everything. Not like, let's separate children from their parents. Like, that's not what we stand for. I don't know why this has happened, but it's changed, so it's kind of one of those things that sucks for those people, because it's either fall in line or the dirty liberals get to be in. You see commentators, longtime George W. Bush strategists. The Bush family said to vote for Hillary Clinton, for God's sake. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy, but it's the world we live in. Twitter helped with that, so probably a net loss in the world, in my opinion, but it's never going to go away. So delete all your tweets. That's what I'm saying. Do what Matt did.
Delete everything.
I need to do that too. I went back a few years and deleted any tweet that would identify me as me. So, but I didn't go. I mean, I've been on Twitter since 2008.
Yeah.
I can't go back that far.
You also have your name and the username, right? So.
Yeah. Well, not anymore. It's John Danger.
Okay.
I got rid of the last name, but it would be pretty easy to trace me from the podcast. But
especially when I say your address out loud right
now.
It's
123 123 Easy Street, Madison, Wisconsin.
Real Place, USA.
Yeah. Well, I say Madison all the time, so I can't get around that one. But this is a podcast, so no one's going to hear this except for the 100 people that subscribe and listen. So, and the people on Twitch right now. So, anyway.
Yeah. So the world's great. everyone.
Yeah, and our online legacies is just basically going to be people finding the worst shit we've ever said, and that will be all we're remembered for. So,
Yep.
I'll be remembered for the episode of Born in the 80s where I talked about how I said the horribly racist thing in summer camp to that one kid. So, because I don't want to go back in it, but I'm sure you can find that episode. When I was like 12. But I love the outcome of that story, though, is that we became friends because of that, so it worked out. Because basically, I think we were both the fat kid, and so we were trying to jockey for position over the lowest rung of the camp,
top fat
the
kid.
social ladder. So we eventually became friends because we were like, yeah, you know what, we're into this together. So that was fun. Learning experience for young Jonathan. What else has people been up to?
What else have you been up to, TJ?
I've got so much more to talk about, and this show is always me talking for an hour and you guys like getting 2 seconds. So I would like you guys to talk more, but I need Lance
TJ,
here to
how's
talk
your
over me.
persona? Is it the 5th one?
It is the 5th. I'm just playing it again and again. And
You know,
again,
aren't there
and
new
again.
games you could play, TJ?
Yes, but I'd rather play my old game to completion. I want to get this platinum, and I'm 240 hours into this thing, and still rolling.
Oof. Good.
But since this podcast started, I finally installed Steam on my new computer, so I can
Nice.
start getting my stuff back again.
Oh man, we should do a little get together someday where I give you guys all of my Steam codes of Humble Bundles that I have extra games on. And give TJ a bunch of games that his computer can definitely run.
Like Star Wars Battlefront 2 from 2005, which I
was gonna say I have that one too, and I don't think I got that in a bundle. But if I did, I'd give a code to someone.
Super Meat Boy I've already got. Stardew Valley, those play.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Meat Boy I've already played on the console, on the computer, which is great.
Yeah, I'm sure in your new computer, too. Your hot new rig, you can play some games on.
I guess apparently I have Crusader Kings 2 now.
Well, that's a good game. That was free on Steam.
It was free. Yeah.
Yeah, for one day. So.
Well, that's right. It was free. It wasn't one of the bundles I had.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got Ark, and I know my computer can't handle that.
Oh yeah, that's a non-optimized game. Like my rig has trouble with that one.
Ooh, when did I get Age of Empires 2 HD?
That's great.
I'd rather play the original though. I loved the original. Age of Empires 2. Is the same as the original 2?
It's the exact same with up-res graphics.
Oh, okay.
It's literally the same game with up-res graphics and the ability to play online. So we could totally play together online. Do what we used to do back in the day when I was a kid. We used to play over the phone. Do you remember this? Playing old games on like RTS.
I know
like
about
StarCraft?
it, but I never actually did it. But yeah, I do know of it.
I remember doing this to StarCraft specifically. Is having my friend's phone number, being like, your computer, your phone line's free, right? Yeah, okay. Let me put your phone number into StarCraft, and it will call your modem up, and we'll connect. Like it's just like insanity, or maybe it was IP address that you had to look up, but it was like crazy, like computer to computer over phone line connection.
What I found really fun about Age of Empires 2 is, I don't know if this is a secret option or just something that we just figured out.
Yeah.
But me and one of my other freshman buddies, Jim, which I don't think he survived past freshman year.
You know those people.
We were playing Age of Empires 2 over the campus network.
Yeah.
And you could set up where you're different teams, but you are allies.
Yeah.
Comstomp.
We used to do that all the time.
You can also set up where you're both the same team.
Yeah.
Like you're the same color. Like we're both blue against the red.
But you each get your own little base to manage, basically.
Well, yeah, I'm really good at like the gathering and upgrading, and he's better at the like the combat and the military stuff.
So you were good at the macro economy game, and he was good at the micro combat game.
Correct.
I think that'd be kind of a neat way to play. I know StarCraft 2 has like a 2v2 bracket that exists where you have, two-on-two battles, which seemed like it'd be really fun to do. Working on a team. But yeah, we used to do that all the time on Age of Empires 2. And just like put the AI on like harder mode, and have two people against like one or two AI on super hard, or like 4 or 5 AI on medium. And yeah, I still like to play that way because it's fun making 1,000, being the English and making like 100 longbowmen and just outranging everyone.
Yeah, the Bretons are great.
Yeah. So, that's a fun one, TJ. You should play that.
I should.
Matt, what have you been doing? Surely you couldn't have just been doing Snake Pass.
Oh God!
I'm sure you watched something.
How's music? How's watching?
Oh, I've been
See
rewatching
movies?
Black Mirror, so that's pretty fun.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I got
good.
to the Waldo moment again, which is
Okay.
the one where, let's see if you'll. Well, I don't think this is anything that could ever happen in real life, but a cartoonish television personality entered a sort of joke campaign and then ended up winning, and then the world
Yeah, like Donald Trump.
explode. I don't see the parallel.
Okay. Just being purposely insulting to all the other candidates just to get a reaction, and then somehow being elected.
Yeah, and then really not
Just trying to
having
get popularity.
It's like being propped up by some sort of corrupt system, and then the system loses control of their monster. And
yeah, exactly.
So that was fun.
That's a good episode.
It is, and it came out in 2013.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Way to predict shit.
That's kind of the thing that Black Mirror has been uncannily good at, is predicting certain near future things that happen, which is good. There's the bees, of course, episode where
the bees
Twitter is weaponized into murdering people. But
oh shit, I had a bee story, but I forgot to look it up. Here, let me paraphrase my science bee fact. Let me do a short. I assume eventually that turns into Flight of the Bumblebees. But turns out bees understand the concept of zero. Some researchers had bees that were trained they showed them 2 different screens with different numbers of objects, and they had trained them to always go to the screen that had less on it. And eventually they evolved the experiment to where one of the screen would have no objects. And after being confused for a little while, eventually the bees recognized that, none is less than some, so I'll go to that screen.
Oh, wow.
And that's apparently something that's pretty rare in the animal kingdom. Bees.
Yeah.
They're like people.
Don't kill bees. Bees are beautiful. They make beautiful flowers and fruit.
Beautiful.
Yes. Also, tomatoes a fruit, not a vegetable. I just want to be... Is it going to get there?
I don't know. These are ones that I haven't tried yet, so there's a lot of intro going on.
Yeah. You gotta work on... You gotta edit that down, get that to the hot bumblebee section. Oh, there we're right in there.
Yep. And now there's zero music, so the bees will understand that.
What? And Flight of the Bumblebee is Korsakov, right?
I think so.
He's one of my favorite composers, and that's the only thing people know about him. Is that song?
Rimsky-Korsakov.
Yeah. Even though, like, the Scheherazade, which is an opera he wrote, is really good. Anyway, he's up there. Composers.
Tea and pinkies for this guy.
Lauren's wedding entrance music was one of his songs. So, a song for India, I believe it's called, which is very pretty.
Well, she shouldn't have used it then. It was for India, not for Lauren.
All right, it was written by a Russian guy.
They wanted her to use it. It would have been song for Lauren.
Well, anyway, it's a beautiful, beautiful song, and it was in Mad Men, which is why she wanted it. It's used in a very great moment in that show when Bay Draper is descending a staircase in a dress, and she looks very pretty. So, anyway, That was Nikolai Rimsky-Korsakov hour.
Corner.
Korsakov.
Korsakov Horner. I don't know. It's like 1 o'clock. It's like 2 o'clock.
Sorry, Song of India, not Song for India. It's from the Sadko, which is, I believe,
sounds like
the name of the opera. Yeah, that it's from. So, of course, I'm sure that opera was super racist because it was Russian about like people going to India. So,
yeah,
as you find with a lot of those old operas,
on their face and shit.
Yeah. Well, let's not worry about that. Let's talk about.
Let's find Rimsky-Korsakov's old tweets.
Mm-hmm.
But there's all kinds of shit in there.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Is that like to talk about legacy? Actually, one interesting thing isn't tweets and stuff, but like because social media didn't exist. But you look at letters that like composers wrote to one another. Where they can fucking be like ragging on other people in the letters, and you're like, oh shit, there's some beef here.
Yeah,
I mean, or
a few weeks ago there was a little blip of hubbub about some letters that Einstein wrote on his trip to China that were kind of racist, and it's like, yeah, I mean, it was a long time ago. I don't know.
Or you could be James Joyce, and you're remembered on this podcast of the letters that you wrote to your fiance and wife about like doing her in the butt and her farting on him. We talked about those on an old episode many years ago. But if you want some fun
let's transcribe
love letters,
that one.
Look up the James Joyce love letters to Nora, and he calls her his dirty little fuckbird.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's right. It's real something. I mean, that's the stuff you have to write when you haven't seen someone in like 9 months because of the way that travel worked back then. So you had to get your jollies off via like writing dirty letters to one another. So, but those are dirty with a capital D. Like, I don't want to kink shame. Dirty. I'm not going to kink shame, but I'm going to say he was
D-E-R-T-Y.
Yeah, he was into some shit, literally. We won't get into that. I don't think we need to get into. He's a beautiful, writer of many books that high school and college kids absolutely dread to read. So,
Well, no, they can just read those letters.
That's right, man. You're in like high school and you're like, Ulysses, this book. I can't read. This is so old. Oh shit! You read these fucking letters he wrote to his dirty Nora. Oh fuck, we can't get into that though. This podcast is a little bit more PG than it used to be.
Anyway, my kids have just left the house. So I could talk about something that I didn't want them to hear.
Should we start the podcast now, or?
All right, here we go. Welcome to Born in the 80s, episode 315. Turn the lights down. It's time for TJ After Dark.
You guys will be so disappointed for setting this all up. So I'm still running. I've been using my Hulu trial. I'm almost done with the trial, but I'll probably pay for it for a couple months at this point.
Okay.
And I just don't want my kids to know that I'm watching all the Steven Universe things in a row. And I know that Spanky did not enjoy what he watched, and there's a million episodes. But
Spanky can go fuck himself because Steven Universe is all that is good in the world.
I've never seen it, but I hate your opinions.
They are. The first season is like 52 episodes, but every episode's 11 minutes.
Yeah.
Spanky's already chiming back.
Oh, he liked what he saw. Okay.
He just doesn't want to get into something that long.
Okay, thank you. Yes, it is.
They're
all right.
Half-length
Unslander
episodes. They're half-length episodes.
But there are a lot. Like I started watching that show, and when you like these kids programs, they're like, oh yeah, we got 7 26-episode seasons. You're like, it's like One Piece up in here.
But if you want to watch something that's a little simpler, Spanky and Ewan do a review on one of the more recent While Aways of, what was it, Craig of the Creek?
Okay.
I'll say Craig of the Creek was...
Shout outs to While Away. Great podcast.
Yep. I probably said it wrong, but Spanky will correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm looking up the podcast. Oh, good. It's the first result when you say While Away podcast. I have not listened. I have not listened to the newest episode, so.
Well, they're once a month, so it's a little easier to get into. You know, they have a 2-hour podcast once a month, as opposed to us, which is a 2-hour podcast once a week, not edited. You know,
there's a lot of content.
But
there's light editing. We're not the brevity podcast.
No, we're definitely not.
It is Craig of the Creek.
Craig of the Creek. Yep.
Okay. That reminds me of I need to watch the show Gravity Falls, which I've heard is amazing.
Yeah, I've heard good things about Gravity Falls.
It's the co-creator of Homestar Runner did a lot of the writing and stuff for that. So
one of the Chapman brothers.
Yes.
Okay.
That's just why everyone's like, you should really watch it. It's good. Like, and it's not super long. I think it might be 4 seasons of like 20-ish episodes apiece. So. Yeah, Spanky's here with Gravity Falls is a good show. Here's the problem I have with watching shows like Gravity Falls and Steven Universe is my wife. I was almost said my fiance. It's been a month, like 2 months now, so I gotta get used to it. My wife has zero tolerance for my wife. Thank you. My wife has zero tolerance for children's cartoons, even if they're good. Like she just won't watch them.
That's why she won't watch Avatar.
Correct. She wouldn't watch Avatar. Couldn't get through it, even though it's good. It's only 2 seasons. Sorry, not 4 seasons, but it's good though. Like I've heard, it's just everyone's like, yeah, it's great. So it's definitely a watchable amount. So I have to watch all that shit when she's not around, when she's out. So I don't got a lot of time to watch. Gotta watch My Hero Academia. I gotta watch all this anime already that she won't watch with me.
There was no new sub episode this week of My Hero, and Dub caught up 1 episode. So
they took a week off, for the 4th of July holiday in Japan.
Well, Persona 5 had a new episode. They're starting the second half of their first season already because they already changed the opening theme song.
Yes. Oh, really?
Yes.
They did that. That's always so weird in animes when they do that. Where it's like, here's a different opening theme song after like an arbitrary number of episodes to make a new season, even though they don't take a break between weeks for new seasons. They're just like, this is season 2 now. I mean, season 1 ended last week, because they're just always pumping them out.
It's not even truly season 2. It still is season 1.
Like Japan is the opposite of England, where England has like 6 episode seasons. Japan's
that's right.
Like 26 episodes always, basically. And so like they get 2 seasons in a year. That's their deal. Or you can watch that. So, TJ, you should watch every episode of One Piece.
Okay, cool. I will start that right now.
Thank you.
I'll watch them simultaneously.
I need to know. I want to talk to you about anime people for a hot sec.
Yes.
Did you know the phenomenon of anime people watching animes at 1.5 speed?
I'm not surprised. I used to watch DVDs that way.
Yes. So okay.
It's how I got through most of Dexter.
Yeah. So it's not just for anime, I guess, but it's a thing. But like especially with anime people, because there's a website called like My Anime List where people list all of the animes. It's like a collection thing. It's like I've seen every episode of this anime, so put it in my collection of I've seen anime.
Support them on Patreon. They're actually a good website, and they make peanuts.
Sorry. I'm talking about a different thing than that, but that is great too.
Okay,
MyAnimeList.com is an anime review site that is just like, how like people say support local businesses. I'm like, support small time indie websites. This is a small time indie anime review website, and the reviews are generally solid, like really spot on. They review everything. So like when a new season of anime starts up, because they kind of do a summer season, they do a spring season, a fall season. When a new season starts up in anime, I like to read their reviews of like the new shows and be like, all right, maybe I should check an episode or 2 out of this one, see how I like it, like just to get a feel for it. So they're doing the Lord's work and cutting the fucking wheat from the chaff for animes for me. So, but it's totally a thing where people will watch animes at 1.5 speed, just to get through episodes. And it's like, if you're doing that, maybe you shouldn't be doing that. Like, if you can't watch a show at the speed that it's meant to be, maybe you should be doing something else with your time rather than trying to sneak in double the anime. But maybe for One Piece you'd have to do that because that is so much show. I never even seen one episode. And there's
I don't want to.
How many episodes of One Piece are there? There's like 700, right?
At least.
Let's see here. Lists of One Piece episodes. That's on Wikipedia. There are 19 seasons with 53 episodes apiece. Do the math. Wait, I'm getting to it. The most recent episode that aired was 842, just a couple weeks ago. So that's a show you can watch. Anime. But anime is bad. You know how Spanky works, who is a co-host of the Wild Away podcast, who's on our chat right now, always says video games are bad and nobody should play video games. I feel the same way about anime. Anime is bad. No one should watch anime. But there's a couple that are good. Like, there's some that are worth watching. Like, you know, like 1 in every 10 animes is worth watching. So, maybe even less than that. But, so that's how I feel about it. I'm a fan, but I also can't recommend people getting into it, if that makes sense. All right. All right, Spanky. Anime is not all bad. It is 99% bad. Anyway, so don't get sucked into anime.
That's what hentai's for.
Anime falls.
Yeah, I had a couple of things. But we'll save those for next week because I don't want to go too long. Let's talk about my neighborhood.
Yes, I want to talk about your neighborhood
because I had some fun posts this week in my neighborhood. I don't know if Matt has music for this segment.
How about this?
Some of these are persons in your neighborhood.
I thought you had the Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood theme song at one point.
I don't know. Did I?
All right. Anyway,
remember.
Matt, that's homework for you. Come up with this thing for my neighborhood because I like to put posts. If you've never been to the website nextdoor.com,
how about this one?
This elevator only goes to the basement.
This is not that,
made an
though.
awful mess down there.
It's close.
Speaking of awful messes this week, no, it's Nextdoor is an app where you have neighbors, and everyone in the neighborhood is connected in like a social media, and it's 90% of it is people complaining about people's dogs being off leash, or I saw a post earlier today, someone saying, there's just some chickens loose. So someone's like backyard chickens are just roaming out on the street. But let's talk about the cooler of death ? So a user in my neighborhood says, this might be a stupid question, but I didn't know what else to ask. Does anyone know what's up with the horrid smelling cooler on the east side of D Avenue between D Road and CG Road? I encountered it about 7 p.m. last night, and it was stinking up the whole block. It's surrounded by trash and standing in a greenish, soupy liquid. There was a note from an angry neighbor about the stench. Really gross stuff. I wanted to hurl, and it was 15 to 20 feet away. This fucking cooler of mystery in my neighborhood. Of just fucking nast. What? So that cooler. What's in that cooler? That cooler's got what? Old meat from like a tailgating expedition that they've left in their fucking car, and they're like, we can't recover this cooler at this point. Let's just put it out on the curb for garbage people to take away, like because we can't deal with it. But it just sat out there and stank up the whole neighborhood for a while. What could be in the cooler of death? Actually, let me go on my actual Nextdoor app because I believe there was a follow up to the cooler of death.
What if it's an actual
later.
human body?
I know, right? This is kind of the things you think about, you know. Let me just Google.
It's like on every true crime podcast I listen to, the person always thinks that they're finding a discarded mannequin, but it's never a mannequin.
Here's some helpful advice from neighbors. Call the police if it smells like death. So that's what I've been smelling. I thought an animal had died. Yes, call the police to investigate. You want to call the cops to on a garbage pile? Call the street recycling refuse number. Yes, it smells like death. Years ago, I called police because of a bad smell, and it was a dead body. Dun, dun, dun. In my neighborhood.
I put it there.
I can attest to the smell. My neighborhood and I were walking the pups past, and it was the most putrid smell. This is not just garbage. Let the police know. So, can whoever calls the police report back to this page so we know the outcome? Thank you. Here's a brave soul. My wife opened it. She's a lot braver than I. She said there's nothing in it, but the area still reeks. So what I'm assuming is that liquid
at one time.
So what I'm assuming is the liquid around it was probably like from a spigot in the cooler that opened, and it was just allowed to drain. And whatever was in it was either taken by a wild animal, or there wasn't anything left in there. It was just the reek of whatever had been taken out of it still was there. And the cooler was gone this morning, so it is gone. Anyway. Wait! Oh! Update! The cooler of death! It appears the cooler was dragged around the corner and is now on D Street behind the VFW parking lot. Rather than putting it in the garbage bin at the apartment building, the person just dragged it around the corner. And here's another one from just a day ago. I just biked past the area. Past spelled wrong. The smell is still there. Sad emoji face. So the cooler of death lives on, everyone. Don't worry about it. So the cooler is at one point befouled, and is now empty, but still is holding on to the stench. So this is good. Cooler of death. Yeah, this is why you should sign up for Nextdoor, even if you don't own a house, because I believe if you just have to have a physical mailing address, and they'll send you a thing, and then you can see what your neighbors are talking about, and it's all like the most inane shit half the time, or people complain. Like for the 4th of July, everyone's like, just be careful because people have pets and they're scared of fireworks. And it's like, yeah, everyone knows this. Everyone that has a pet knows this already. Like, why do you need to say this? Like,
I'm scared of fireworks.
Like, I have a cat that's afraid of thunderstorms. I know he's going to be afraid of fireworks. Like, you don't need to make some sort of public service announcement. It's like, hey, by the way, you use forks to eat food. And it's like, yeah, we all know this. This is something everyone knows about this. So, and it's not going to stop anyone from doing fireworks on the 4th of July. Like, it's just not going to stop. Like, it's just going to happen. Fucking people were shooting fireworks last night, you know. Gotta celebrate the 7th of July. Great. Yeah, you know,
that's
that classic day.
When Paul Revere ate a waffle.
Here's another one of my favorite. Yep, yeah, he had a waffle. Johnny Tremaine used his metal hand to cook the waffle. You know, it was a great time. So let's talk about the other post I have. And this is the other type of post that Nextdoor has, which is just a completely inane comment that will have no comments on it, that nothing will ever come of it. Orange backpack. Who took my backpack? Orange backpack with my partner's service dog's water bottle, sunscreen, etc. in it. We left it on a table at the beer tent and came back to it missing. Someone stole your backpack. Like, you're never going to get that back. There was no misunderstanding with this. Not only does this not say where the beer tent was, so I have no clue, nor does it have any information about the person to contact them. You can direct message people on that, but like, if this person doesn't it's just, why post this? There's nothing will come of this. Also, what's a service dog's water bottle? Do they make specific dog water bottles? Matt?
I don't know.
Can
I
dogs
know there are
drink from a water bottle?
collapsible. There are collapsible dog water dishes.
So maybe it's a water bottle for a dog that has like a top that you can take off to put a water dish on.
Oh no, dog water bottle. It's got a little bowl on top of it, so it's like all part of the thing.
I love the dog water bottle idea.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna need one of these someday. Because I'm gonna be with dog next week. A week from today.
You're with dog.
I'm heavy with dog.
When is dog due?
Dog due 1 week from today. So
I hope everything
I'm
goes
excited.
well with the delivery.
Me too. You know, I'm not too worried. But anyway,
So
we'll talk about Guild Wars 2 next week.
Okay.
Because
Speaking of
that
Twitter,
the drama is still ongoing on that, as well as poaching.
poaching's always ongoing.
Yeah, like lions eating poachers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We can talk about that. But, well, I'm John Danger. You can find me on the trademark TM worst website in the world, twitter.com, at John_Danger, JON John, of course, where I tweet nonsense and have 500 followers. I used to have thousands, but my purchased followers were taken away from me.
At least some of them.
Apparently, Twitter's been
Yes.
working hard at banning bots. I have not seen evidence of this, but that's what they say. You can
Yes.
find me at matthagmusic.com, the recently redesigned, prettyified matthagmusic.com. And that's all.
Also, listen
Maybe
to his
Twitter.
streams on Spotify.
Yeah, Loop.
Yeah.
You know, it's great for dogs, great for cats, to keep them company while you're at work. Just loop it forever and ever.
What if I do that and my dog gets like super like destroyed? Like,
Then
what
you
if
could
your
just turn the
music
speaker off.
secretly? But I'm gone. What if your music secretly is like the dog whistle for the dog to like destroy the entire house?
Yeah. Or it just like hypnotizes it to like only
Yeah.
respond to my voice, and then I come over.
This
and
hasn't been
command it
tested
to
yet,
murder you.
so at your own risk. Or you could be part of the science experiment to determine whether or not it's okay to do this. So anyway, what about our final host?
Oh yeah, I'm over at May of May 84 on the Twitter. I will probably get back on Twitch, but if you poke at me enough times, especially in our Discord channel, I will get annoyed so much I will just hook up those things right now.
Beep boop boop bop. Boop bop beep.
Anyway,
Oh, and join our
That's me
Discord.
poking.
As John, I'm sure he mentioned, but I was spacing out. Boarding80s.net. Our Discord link is in there. We post lots of memes or a link to a 11-minute long YouTube video about some guy talking about the speed of internet.
yeah.
And someone just liked my pinned tweet of I just want all my tweets in chronological order.
Yeah, I like
do.
that. I agree with that statement. I don't want fucking did you miss this? I want to
No.
read it in order, goddammit.
I won't miss anything if everything is in order.
Yeah.
I don't need an algorithm to tell me what I want to read. I want everything.
Exactly.
Yeah. And if people follow too many accounts and they can't keep track of shit, that's their fault.
That's me. That's my problem.
Go.
But I
Spanky
still want
says
it
go to
chronological.
Mastodon, which I looked up, and it was very confusing to me. But
The
I will
band
look at it.
Mastodon?
What?
The band Mastodon?
No, it's apparently some kind of social media site. Cyber.
Wait. Mastodon. Official website, mastodonrocks.com. That's not
Yeah,
it?
go to the Mastodon official website.
Oh, okay,
and,
here it is. Joinmastodon.org. Social networking back in your own hands. It's its own social network. All right, I'm gonna get started. I'll sign up. Yes. All right, guys. What am I? An artist, a musician, a writer, a book lover, a journalist, an
You're
activist,
an artist, and your
LGBTQ
art
plus,
is
We
Black
have a podcast.
American,
We're journalists.
sports fan, gamer, developer, sysadmin, in academia, or an adult content creator. One of
that
those.
one. We
All of the
create.
above.
I think our content is pretty like for adults. We don't do a lot of kids programming.
I'll put a journalist. I speak all languages. No, just English, please. All right. Now, how do I sign up? All right.
Bye-bye,
Anyway.
everybody.
All right, let's.
Oh,
kill
it's
the
like a
episode.
server thing. It's like Discord for not. Hey, what's up?
This feels
Hey,
like,
what up?
like an early morning recording for me because I woke up at like 11:30.
Fuck you.
I woke up at 6:30 after staying up till 1:30. But
I woke up at not that early, at 9:30, but I also mowed the lawn and a bunch of stuff this morning. I feel like dying.
Yeah, I have a man that
Yeah, it's
comes
pretty warm
and does
outside.
that for me.
You don't have a yard. You know,
I
your
have a
rental
little bit of
place.
a yard.
Yeah, but doesn't your rental place pay for that?
Yeah.
in a way, he pays for part of it.
That's true. You are paying for it through your rent.
Well, I think I don't know. The thing might be more complicated than that because part of this whole building used to be condos, and part of it, I think 2 of the units still are. So there might be some kind of condo situation that then my landlord pays into, and I pay my landlord. It's all very messy.
Weird. Sounds like you're getting ripped off, man.
I don't think that's what it sounded like at all. Hot pocket eating TJ.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've got
That
about
sounds
6
pretty
more
good.
bites.
All right. Well, I'm ready to start whenever.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do this.
All right. Wow, this is going to be the shortest intro we've ever had. We usually have like 20 minutes of us talking about bullshit. Like,
Bullshit. Blah blah blah.
Pig sparkles
lizard people
is the
and
thing.
The world
Did you
is
get all your
flat.
free games on Twitch?
I did, but I haven't
Yeah, there's
played
like
any of them
some
yet.
crazy prime loot.
I didn't
deals
really
going on with this.
recognize any of the titles.
Well, I will tell you, because I recognized a bunch of them. I'm going to tell you, look at my games and see what I've gotten. Battle Chef Brigade is supposedly pretty cool, but I haven't played it. I've just heard it's good. All these other ones I've never really heard of. Pillars of Eternity is legitimately one of the better RPGs made in the last like 20 years, so that's a pretty good
Was
good
that a Kickstarted one?
believe so,
I
originally.
know there's a
Okay.
physical release for that too. For
And they have a
consoles.
second one as well.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
heard of that one.
It's a CRPG, but it's the combat's really good. The story's good. It's like playable D&D basically.
C RPG. What's the C for?
I don't remember. What does that stand
Chinese?
for? It's CRPG
Canadian?
definition. Because all right, well, we can start after this, but it's
Yeah.
just called computer role playing game. But
Okay.
traditionally, TJ, it means like a flat plane, third person, like over perspective of like your party walking around. You know,
So
like
a computerized version of a tabletop RPG, essentially.
yeah, that's a better way of putting it. Like your Neverwinter Nights, your
Classic Baldur's Gate, as
Icewind
opposed.
Dale, Baldur's Gate, Baldur's
Yep.
Gate 2, all of those are CRPGs. Planescape Torment, and so this is very much like those, except for that a lot of those are turn-based. This is real time, but with pausing. So kind of like Dragon Age was, where you could play it like a CRPG from that up view with like pausing and stuff, or you could play it third person, which is how a lot of people play on the consoles. But anyway, let's get started. Welcome
Thanks
to
in
Born in
the
the
chat.
80s. Oh my
I
god!
know you're saying already.
I said I was gonna start.
Well, now you have more material. It's fine.
All right.